Within the last 3 years, GMC and Ram have refreshed their half tons. But who is the price leader with the best options? We're going to find out in this video today. I borrowed these trucks from Larry H. Miller, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram here in Sandy, Utah, and Jerry Seiner, Buick GMC here in South Jordan. Be sure to check out their inventory. Let's go ahead and check out the window stickers so you guys can see some of the pricing on these trucks. Starting with the Ram, here's the base price at $63,880. This is a billet silver paint. And then just be sure to pause it for the standard equipment here. And starting off the options is that paint again, because it is a metallic, for $295. Laramie Level 1 Equipment Group is $395. And it gives you a lot of nice features there. Front rear rubber floor mats, $392 rear axle, and this one has a 33-gallon fuel tank with a trailer brake. Destination comes in at $1995 with a total price of $67,715. And here are the Philly Common numbers. For the SLT, here's all the standard equipment. Again, be sure to pause it. Base price is going to be $57,900, and then this one does have the SLT premium package for $6,525. A lot of nice features. X31 package was $1,180, and then sunroof, and then the red was $645. Destination comes in at $1995 with a total price of $67,740. Here are the Philly Common numbers. That GMC costs $5,980 less than that Ram. Now there's a few reasons why. We'll go over that in the video. Now as far as the MSRPs go, they're pretty much similar, but you'll see which truck has more features for the money here in a second. Now on the front end of the GMC, full LED headlights. This one does have the 360 camera view, which was an option. Just keep that in mind. Also, these parking sensors were an option. With the Ram, you do have full LED headlights, high and low beam, but your turn signals are going to be incandescent bulbs. But front parking sensors do come standard. It does look like the Ram has a camera on the front, but that's just a plastic trim piece. It's not a camera. You do have the adaptive cruise control, which comes standard. On this GMC, you have recovery hooks that Ram does not. But adaptive cruise control was an option under that package that you guys saw. Now as far as the front ends go, you guys be the judge here. Which one do you guys like better? I think I like the Rams better. It's a lot more cleaner compared to the GMCs. I think that the grille is just busy. That's probably what I don't really care for. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and check out the wheels and on the side. Now this Ram does have a 20-inch wheel that comes standard. However, it's wrapped in a Nexen tire. Whereas with the X31 off-road package, you do get a more all-terrain style tire through Bridgestone. This is the Dueler AT. Now these 20-inch wheels were an option, so just keep that in mind. But fabric material for the wheel well, which is easy to clean, independent front suspension, and same thing on this side, independent front suspension, but they give you a plastic trimming for that wheel well. Fender flares on the Ram are painted. However, the ones on the GMC are just finished in plastic. Here's some of the badging for the powertrain, and we'll go over that in a second. But the mirrors are finished in chrome, and these trucks do have a lot of chrome, especially on the front ends. You guys saw the chrome front bumpers, grills, and even the trimming on the side. They both have lighting on the mirrors, although these are just turn signals. Those are just accent lights. Blind spot monitoring. One thing I love about the Ram is they do give you convex on both sides. Very nice for towing, and blind spot right there. Smart key system. Now this one does have these running boards here. Ram does not, although they are available, of course. Out back, wheel well liner. And you guys can see here, GM does it up, another fabric material for the wheel well liner. Now as far as the suspension goes, you do have leafs on the GMC compared to the coils on the Ram. So the Ram is going to ride better in regards to that. Now one thing to mention, you can get 4-corner air suspension on this truck. It's not cheap, but it will enhance the ride, and it's really good if you plan on towing a trailer. Now you guys saw on the window sticker that this truck had a optional 33-gallon fuel tank. The standard tank, I believe, is 26 gallons. On the GMC, you get a standard 24-gallon fuel tank that you cannot upgrade. I'm not sure why GM has not offered that, but they just haven't. By the way, I didn't mention, but you have painted door handles on the Ram versus the chrome ones, and you do have chrome around the windows versus the black trimming on the Laramie. Out back, you guys can see the taillights. These are just incandescent taillights on this GMC. You do have a mixture of LED and incandescent bulbs inside of there. You do get this tailgate standard. This is the Multi-Pro. Ram does have an upgraded tailgate. I can never remember the name of it, but it's kind of expensive and you have to add extra packages to get it. So GMC has that advantage over the Ram. Now assisted tailgate, and it's gonna be the exact same thing on this side. You have that assist. Now one advantage that GM also gives you is the steps on the bumper. However, those rear parking sensors are an option, whereas on the Ram, they are standard. And you guys see where they put them at? They put them on this plastic trim piece versus where GM does it. I just think it looks tacky. I'm not sure why the other manufacturers haven't caught on. Ram, or really, you know, Chrysler has always been pretty good at doing like stuff like this. Like, it just looks clean. Like, even like right there, you guys can see it. Hopefully you can see it. I'm zoomed all the way in, but this is really dark. Let me just get closer. So yeah, you see how they have it positioned there on the plastic? It just looks really good. And they give you LED lights for your license plate. Not a big deal for some people, but I like that. Dual exhaust, same thing goes on that GMC too. Take note that that power sliding glass is an option on this truck. It is standard on that Ram. Now they do give you a step to get into the bed lights, and you have 400 watts of power. Now on the Ram, you guys probably noticed there was no power in the bed, but you do have bed lights that you can turn on from the bed, which you cannot do on that GMC. You have to go up front and hit a button and they'll come on automatically when you open the tailgate. But one thing about the Ram is you can get 400 watts of power, and now you can get 2,000 watts for this 2025 model year. One last advantage for the GMC, you get 12 tie downs versus 4 in this Ram. Now, raising this tailgate, it's pretty easy. You can do it with one hand. Now, I didn't mention this, but you do have an E-coating on the frame for that Ram. GM is still rocking this wax coating. It depends on who you are. I mean, I don't really mind it, but some people will probably hate it. Now, as far as that rear axle goes, that's going to have a 321 standard. It is going to have an automatic locker, by the way, too. On the Ram, if you want a locker, you have to opt for it. But 355 rear end does come standard. The truck had that 392. Now, if you want lower gearing on the GMC, you cannot get it. Both trucks do have a spare that does not match the wheels on the truck. Class 4 hitches, 4 and 7 pins. You do have those optional camera inputs on the GMC, however. Let's go ahead and talk about the powertrains. If you know me, you kind of know how this is going to go. So I have to take off my diesel fanboy hat for this video. One thing I like about GM is they have not bought into the wokeness. They still rock naturally aspirated V8s. You have the 5.3, you have the 6.2, both of which are available for this truck, although this 5.3 comes standard. For 2025, Ram decided it was time to go woke. So they introduced this 3-liter straight 6 turbo. It should be SSTT for straight 6 twin turbo because that's what it is, but I guess that's just too many letters on the side of the truck, so it is what it is. With that being said, 420 horsepower comes out of this engine compared to, make sure you're sitting down here, 355 horsepower. So it is way down on power with this V8. However, 383 pound-feet of torque is laughable, especially for a V8 GMC. versus 469 pound-feet of torque. So this is a beast of an engine, and it's in part to the twin turbos. Obviously, forced induction is always going to give you that extra boost, and that's why this engine puts out so much power. Now, earlier I did mention there were two V8 options. You have the 5.3 and the 6.2 liter. That engine puts out 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. Now, the only negative thing with that engine is you have to use premium fuel. So if you're not looking to spend more money at the pump, well, you're probably going to want to get that 5.3. But hey, all is not lost, because here's where my fanboy comes out. I am a diesel fanboy. You can still get the Duramax diesel for 2024 in the Sierras. That's what I love about GMC. They still offer that, and it's going to have class leading MPG. You can get 30 MPG combined, well, not combined, but on the highway for sure you can get 30. I've heard of guys getting even more than that with these trucks once they get broken in. There is a high output straight six twin turbo available. However, you cannot get it in the Laramie. You have to move up in trim levels to get it. So who won the powertrains? Obviously you guys know who I'm going to pick. So yes, GMC won that because they have more options, and they still have a V8. I think some people would prefer that Ram had left the 5.7 for like at least the last few model years of this design, and then killed it for the complete redesign they're going to have. As far as the interior goes, GM did an update back in 2022, and this is the same. So this truck does look great. I love the design on the door. You have Bose sound system, which was, I believe, an option. Yes, it was an option. 10-way seat. And these do come standard with leather seating, perforated leather. Heated seats come standard, but the ventilated seats were an option in that package. Now notice how this floor is pretty much at the same height as this trim piece. Getting in and out is really easy for the GMC. For the Ram, you guys can see they didn't need to do much with their interior because they are class leading even to this day. I think this looks a little bit better than the GMC. I'm just being honest here. It does look better. It just looks cleaner and well thought out. And even for the Ram, actually, I thought that this sat higher, but no, this one sits pretty low too. So when you're getting in and out of the truck, you're not always scraping your foot over that. This truck did have 10-way seats too, and that's including the lumbar for both trucks. Now, as far as the seats go, look how much wider the seat cushion is compared to that GMC. Let's go back over there real quickly. You guys see the difference? The seats are a little bit wider, and the seats are a little bit softer. Now, for the GMC, you guys see right here? This is an option, but it is at least available. You have a power steering column. It is telescoping. Now, getting in and out of this truck is easy because you do have a grab handle right there. And you guys see the screens. You have a 12.3 and a 13.4 compared to a 7-inch and 12-inch here. Now, there is an availability for the Laramie to have class leading screen size if you have to have bigger. They always say bigger is better. At least my wife says so. So 14.4 is the bigger screen. So yes, it is available, but 12-inch comes standard now. Now, stepping inside, you do have a grab handle on this side here and on the passenger side, and the same thing goes for the GMC. As far as this truck goes, you guys can see it does have the bench up front. This truck does not have a wireless charger with this configuration. You would have to get the bucket seats up front to get that charger. Now, with that being said, that GMC has that charger. And let's just go through really quickly. I'm not going to take too much time. This truck does have the Alpine sound system, which I don't have to turn it on. This is going to be better than the GMC. I know some people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but it's just truth. And if you want more, you can get it with this truck because you have the Harman Kardon. I think it's like, what, 19 speakers for the half tons? I know for the HDs it's like 17 speakers. But one thing I like about the Ram, and I'm always going to talk about this until GMC over there fixes this, but when you go to this menu, I like how they lay out your engine hours. That's nice. Also, you have your fuel economy, which both trucks do, but you don't have this for the GMC, a gauge summary with all the temperatures. Now, with the Ram, I didn't mention this one under the hood, you now have this as opposed to a dipstick. So unfortunately with the Ram, they took away the dipstick, but you do still have it for that GMC. But yes, you do not have these types of gauges in that GMC. They do show you the temperature for the transmission, but that's it. Now, most people are going to prefer the horizontal screen that the GMC has over the vertical one that Ram has. But, you know, I am a huge fan of Uconnect. I love my GMC. I don't even want to say who has one better because I still need to think about it. I just don't know. Heated and ventilated seats do come standard on the Ram, by the way. Heated steering wheel. And one other thing I like about the Ram, and GMC has something similar, is you do have your towing. Like, so if you want to set up your trailers, you can do that. And it's pretty easy to do on this truck. Now, as far as the dial goes, you guys see right here, I think I like this one better compared to this. You have to put your foot obviously on the brake, but I prefer just a normal shifter. Now, this one does have the gear limiter too, and it does have the paddle shifters, but these paddle shifters, you're not going to use this for sporty driving. This is for towing, 100%. Very laggy. It does not change the gear when you hit plus or minus. Actually, when you hit minus, it does, but when you hit plus, it just shifts when it's ready to shift, basically. But here is that 13.4-inch display. One advantage this truck has is it does have the 360 camera for it already, but remember, these trucks are essentially the same price. So if you add a bucket seat, a twin panel sunroof, which is an advantage over this basic sunroof in this truck, and you add the 360 camera, all that stuff, you're gonna have a $72,000, $73,000 Ram truck. So the price advantage 100% goes to the GMC. I like the overall styling in this truck. It's really hard to beat either one. Like, I will say, if you have the cash to spend, the Ram wins. But if you are on that budget, if you're not trying to be at 75, 78 grand for a, you know, mid-level trim, then yes, I think the GMC is the better buy. Now, this truck does not have the heads-up display on it, and it's not available, I believe, for the SLT. You would have to move to a Denali, but the trimming is nice on the truck. I like the storage that they have, and then here's where that wireless charger would be. You have two USBs, you have a 120-volt plug, two more USBs right there. Both trucks have dual climate control. Let's go ahead and check out the rear. Ram trucks do have the largest cabs for sure, and they have a flat floor surface, storage here with these removable trays. Some people will put ice in these if they're going to the beach. Seat back pockets, and these rear seats do recline, so the lever is right down here. And let's see if I can do it. Actually, you have to be sitting down basically. But yeah, look how much space you have in this truck. You could fit 3 adults back here easily, and I mean that. Also, I love this. This is super nice. Leather wrap storage. Now, 4 USBs. Actually, Ram has the most USBs, by the way, by far. You have a 120-volt plug down there, outboard heated seats, air vents down there, and the headroom is nice too. LED lighting. Let's check out that GMC. Seat back pockets are right there, outboard heated seats. You have less USBs, and you don't have a 120-volt plug out back. You had one on the front and out back on that Ram. Now, even with the armrests, it's not as nice as the Rams, but you still have a little bit of nice storage in the rear. This cab is definitely smaller, and you do have that lighter color roof. The Ram did not. If I didn't show it to you guys, but yeah, you have the black roof, which looks better, but it's going to be a little bit warmer in the summertime. As far as the numbers go on the door, gross axle weight rating up front is going to be 3,800 pounds, and the rear is going to match it at 3,800. 7,100 pound gross vehicle weight rating, and a 20/9 wide wheel. Also, you guys can see payload is at 1,630 pounds compared to 3,900 pound gross axle weight rating up front and 4,100 pounds in the rear. So Ram definitely beats out the GMC for sure. Now, you can get a 4,100 pound rear if you get that max trailering on the GMC. Gross vehicle weight rating is going to be 7,100 pounds, and wow, the GMC edges out the Ram by a little bit on the payload. However, it's going to get worse, because if you were to add a front bucket seat option here, twin panel roof, which this truck has, spray-in bed liner, running boards, all those things would add weight to this truck, which means that number would go below 1,600 pounds really fast. It probably could even drop below 1,500 pounds. Now you can get power deployable running boards with the Laramie. You cannot with the GMC. I forgot to mention that earlier, but yes, when it's all said and done, it doesn't matter which truck you pick. I think it matters on the deal. So maybe in the future I'll start doing a look at the price and the discounts that they're giving on each truck and the rebates. If you want to see that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below if you would like for me to do stuff like that. I've been thinking about doing it, but like I don't know how to do it yet, so I'm trying to figure out a way to do it. But yes, hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to check out Larry H. Miller and Jerry Steiner's inventory. See you guys soon.